the portal quarterback potential fits and the superlatives those fits would be. Now, it's Christmas, so you're walking downstairs this morning, look under the tree, and oh my gosh, you're an LSU fan. You got Sam Levitt. You're a Arizona State fan. You got Dylan Raiola. So this is an exciting time for all of us during portal season. Again, the portal does not open till January 2nd, so therefore, a lot of these cats can't actually jump into the portal until January 2nd, so therefore they can't commit anywhere. So when the portal does open up, Cato, got a couple of different categories I want us to just kind of go through together and exchange takes, if you will, together on some of these guys. Let's start with all-around best fit superlative for these transfer portal quarterbacks. So Cato and I will also, or how this works, we'll give a quarterback, we'll give a destination that we think best exemplifies that superlative. So I kind of tipped my hand there at the jump, though, but I think Sam Levitt to LSU is the all-around best fit here for me, man. We talked about it on the show before. Makes a lot of sense. Like Lane Kiffin was to the coaching carousel what it feels like Sam Levitt is going to be to the transfer portal quarterback market. Bell of the ball. And if I'm Sam Levitt, I want to go somewhere where I can get developed. I want to go somewhere where I can compete against the best and have my film up against the best for NFL scouts. Lane Kiffin checks a lot of those boxes, man. A lot of those boxes. You want to go do law at the highest level? As much as I despise Harvard with every fiber of my soul, probably go get Harvard Law. You want to go be a successful portal quarterback? I mean, Lane Kiffin, his track record with Chambliss from D2 to what he's doing right now in the SEC to Jackson Dart to the first round. There's a lot of proof in the pudding there. It would make a lot of sense on paper. I think it'd be great in practice. Best all-around fit, Sammy Levitt, Sammy football, maybe we can get that going, to the Bayou, man. I think he ends up being a Tiger, and that would be tremendous there. It's a little prediction and a fit for us.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think the people who have no skin in the game for college football and just want to see the most exciting product possible. I mean, that's it, right? I mean, you talk about one of the most Jackson Dartish quarterbacks on the portal market right now. It's Sam Levitt, man. He's not afraid to lower that shoulder, not afraid to run, not afraid to cut it loose. I think he would match quite literally the personality of Lane Kiffin's offense so well, and I think the Dart comp kind of says it all there. And we talked about it before. You'd imagine Sam Levitt and a couple of these other guys in the Big 12 are wanting to get out of the Big 12 to help their draft stock, and the best way to help that is to play football at the highest level. So I think playing the SEC makes a ton of sense. It's weird. Last offseason, we were talking about how it's hard to rank the Big 12 quarterbacks, how there's so many good quarterbacks, and all of a sudden, all these guys slowly but surely coming into the transfer portal, we might see some movement there. So a lot of experience on the table for a lot of these guys. Sam Levitt has some championship pedigree for sure. You know he's not scared of the big moment. He was one of the few, one of the only, actually the only, to beat Texas Tech this year. So that says a lot. Seeing that on an SEC level would be awesome. Imagine what kind of potential giants you can knock off if you're doing that at Arizona State, playing Texas down to the wire with an Arizona State team. What's going to happen when you have the Bayou to your back and all of a sudden you're playing in that big of a stage in that environment? So I think that's the most electric fit, and that would be probably the biggest win for just college football if Sam Levitt and Lane Kiffin handshake emoji. I mean, the City Boys are up 1,000 if that one happens.
Petty Boys are down bad. City Boys are just celebrating in their section. Levitt State, Lane State University, however you want to phrase the LSU part of it, like there's marketing potential there. I think the biggest thing with Levitt here, before I get your all-around best fit, my biggest thing with him is it just removes one more excuse that people can have for you to not draft you. Hey, but he played at Arizona State. Well, hey, but how good a competition was it? Well, hey, but dude went out into the SEC, showed up and balled in a new system for him in an RPO setup with Lane Kiffin, who knows quarterbacks. If Lane Kiffin wants Sam Levitt, which I have to believe now, probably the case. I don't know anything, but I would assume that's the case. That's also a pretty big seal of approval. So a lot of arrows up into the right with Levitt to LSU, in my humble opinion. But Cato, where do you fall on this topic now? And I kind of got the upper hand here because you asked me what my picks were, and then you did your best to diversify the portfolio. So just so the people know at home, like, Cato was kind enough to give me first stab at this. But where did you go on all-around best fit here?
You know what, JD? It's funny. That really didn't impact my decision at all. Like, you made great picks, but I also think it speaks to this quarterback cycle, honestly. Like, we were talking about it before. The fact that LSU has Lane Kiffin, known for his portal acumen, and there's this kind of class where you have this much experience, this many snaps, this much potential, they have to land someone, right? We think Sam Levitt would be the best fit. Me and you can both agree with that. But there's just so many guys out there that surely they have to get someone, right? So I try to dig deeper into the weeds and find more of a gem, more of a fit that just makes the most sense. So we talked about it this offseason. Tennessee, Hendon Hooker, transfer quarterback. That was awesome. Joey Aguilar, no spring practice, no problem. Picks up the offense like it's nothing. And we see the Tennessee passing attack look the way it looks. I think the only problem with the transfer quarterbacks that have been coming in, especially with the Joey Aguilar, we don't know if he's going to even play next year because he's an older, experienced guy. You get 2 years out of Hendon Hooker, only get 1 year out of Joey Aguilar. There is a quarterback named Drew Mastermaker, JD, from North Texas, who led the nation in passing yards by far with 4,129 yards, 31 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and he is a redshirt freshman. If you're Tennessee, you have this excellent track record with this offense, with transfer quarterbacks. Why not get a guy who you can get a couple years out of as well? Parlay your offense and your transfer success with a guy who apparently is very early on in his football journey in general, didn't play a ton of high school quarterback. Next thing you know, he's lighting up for North Texas's air raid offense. I think this is a guy that not only would fit perfectly with the scheme, with how quickly players have been able to understand the scheme. You get a full offseason with him, but he can maybe build on that for years to come as just a redshirt freshman. So that's my perfect fit is the one Drew Mastermaker with the Tennessee Volunteers. Probably didn't see that one coming, did you?
I love that. I love everything about that. And also, it's kind of this perfect hybrid of what you've had the last 2 years. You had production with Aguilar at App State, but then you had the year before a redshirt freshman in Nico where you like the talent, you like the youth, you get him for a couple of years. On paper, that is. Things go how they go with UCLA and the whole portal extravaganza or fiasco there, however you want to phrase it. But it's kind of best of both worlds. Okay, I get a guy that I know can freaking play college football at a high level in Mastermaker, but at the same time, he's not probably now, if he comes to Tennessee, going to hit the portal next year. Like, college football is crazy, but, I mean, you assume he's coming to Tennessee to be developed by Josh Heupel. Josh Heupel got to be, what do you think? First team all quarterback clay molder, like with what he did with Aguilar. He's got to be one of the top quarterback pottery guys, I would think. So I love that fit. Mastermaker to Tennessee. Go ahead and book that. Kind of makes me mad about what I have next year, Taylor, because I have a Tennessee fit here for my next superlative for most fun fit here via the transfer portal. And Tennessee, again, this is all assuming now that there's nothing new with Joey Aguilar and that he ends up not being able to play next season. I'm going to go in that same vein that you went when it comes to system fit and skill set fit. Josh Hoover at TCU intends to enter the transfer portal, and there was some speculation about him maybe leaving TCU last portal cycle. And if he did leave TCU, Tennessee, when they were in need of a transfer portal quarterback, would have made a lot of sense should they have been in the market at that point in time for Josh Hoover. But I get production, I get experience at the highest level, and kind of the same thing with Sam Levitt as it is with Josh Hoover. You're probably transferring out to go put your tape up against an SEC roster. You're trying to prove that you belong in the highest level, which is, of course, the NFL. The smallest jump from college to the NFL is the SEC, whether people like it or not, by nature of what the draft numbers are. So in terms of like most fun, most provocative, gets the people going, Josh Hoover, I think, would throw freaking bombs in Neyland, man. And the long ball would be all the way back with Aguilar passing the torch to Hoover. Most fun fit for me is Hoover getting the folks fired up on Rocky Top, taking his talents to Neyland.
That's funny because with the best fit, I literally have Drew Mastermaker, Tennessee, and I have Josh Hoover, Tennessee written down.
Let's
I
go,
have both of them down. So I just gave
You're
the
sicko.
edge. I gave the edge to Mastermaker just because of, like you said, like I said before, the runway of him potentially playing multiple years at Tennessee.
Hands down.
He's a redshirt freshman, so he could potentially leave after 1 year, but you like to think Tennessee, that draft class that's probably going to be there, pay the guy, re-sign the guy, and he comes back, give him a little extension as we're calling now. But I like this fit too, man. Josh Hoover, experienced guy, is right up there with Mastermaker and a lot of other guys as far as his passing totals, not just this season, but last season. So I love that fit too, man. It fits the mold of, like we said, the transfer quarterbacks that can make it work. So no
both
problems there.
Gunslingers too. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Both that gunslinger personality you need in that offense, I think, with Mastermaker and Hoover.
Yeah, definitely. But when it comes to most fun, JD, I don't think you see this one coming either, man.
You're a fun guy now.
I have tricks up the sleeve. I'm a fun guy. Let's go down to Florida. John Summerall era has begun. I'm a big believer in John Summerall, as I've said on this show, and will continue to say this entire offseason. Big culture guy. I couldn't think of a better way for John Summerall to start off the culture of this new Florida program than by bringing Brendan Sorsby in down to Gainesville to play for the Gators in that Buster Faulkner offense that we just saw Haynes King do. I think Brendan Sorsby is a 2.0 version of Haynes King as far as his abilities throwing the ball, maybe not running the ball, maybe not donating his body to football the same way. Brendan Sorsby 6'3", though, JD, 235.
Oh, my God.
2 years at Indiana, 2 years at Cincinnati. I listen to him on the Andy and Artie podcast, and he just sounds like a dude who just gets it, who loves ball, who's been at a bad Indiana program and a Cincinnati program that surprised a lot of people this offseason, didn't have the biggest expectations. Next thing you know, we're midseason talking about, is this game against Utah for pole position in the Big 12? Texas Tech just took a loss. Dual threat quarterback. I think it'd be an awesome scheme fit, awesome culture fit. Give me Brendan Sorsby down to Gainesville, right over left with John Summerall. That's the most fun to me. That's fun.
You're in your bag right now.
I'm in the bottom of it, man.
You're absolutely just hitting dinger after dinger. And I love everything. This is the best Christmas gift I could have ever asked for. Not that I didn't expect you to be in your bag, because that's just a given when you get on the mic. But golly, dude. Think if you're a Florida fan, you get that Nacosification. Again, not intel. We're all just kind of putting this thing together, talking about fun fits, superlatives. So we're not saying there's smoke to these necessarily. But if Brendan Sorsby ends up being the Christmas gift for Florida Gators through the transfer portal, oh my gosh. I think he fits exactly what they want. You mentioned personality a lot with Summerall. Brendan Sorsby kind of seems to be in that same like vein, maybe not so much psychopath, but just like baller to him, right? He's got the shield, got the towel on the back, wears the baggy t-shirt out of the jersey. Like, just any quarterback that has that kind of swag on the field, you know he's got to be a dude. And like you said, Brendan Sorsby, dude in every single sense of the word. I love that dude.
Jumpman logo on Sorsby. Little Jordan for the guy. Some Jordan cleats for the guy. But, man, like 2 straight seasons, 2,800 yards. Brought his throwing touchdown total up from 18 touchdowns last year to 27 this year. Only 5 picks, 500 yards on the ground. 9 touchdowns, man. Like, I think it would be a perfect offensive fit, perfect culture fit. I mean, again, like you said, these aren't happening. Like, these are, let everyone know, this is zero intel here. These are all wants.
It's Christmas.
These are all wants. Christmas. Yeah, these are all on our wish list. You know what I mean? And I think we're both on the nice list. So I think maybe at least one of these will hit, right? Come on.
Just one. I mean, shoot, Santa's busy, but dude, one of these would be. I'm mad how much I want that to happen, because it would just be so fun. And also, not to spend too long on this, but Buster Faulkner and his offense. We talked to Jake Crane about this yesterday, and he's like, listen, they don't want to do the Haynes King stuff like all the time. Yeah, they want to run the quarterback maybe a little bit, but they did what they had to do at Georgia Tech because Haynes King is a great athlete, and Georgia Tech has some other deficiencies otherwise on their offense, but. You don't have to just totally put it up in the attic if you get Brendan Sorsby to Gainesville. I mean, that thing stays around. I'm just saying, staying up like some Christmas lights in the middle of summer. Here's another one for you here, Cato. Most explainable. All right, so we've done most fun. We've done best all-around fit. Even though it's a holiday, we're still going to be a bit business-like and logical here. And just the easiest fit here to explain. And I think there's a couple of them out there. In the transfer portal, from what we've seen now, sometimes it's pretty straightforward when it comes to these guys and their fits and people committing to people and committing to familiar territories with where they're from. All that's to say, the most explainable transfer portal quarterback fit to me here would be DJ Lagway at Baylor. Dad played there. He's from the state of Texas. You got to think, too, after everything went how it went at Florida and how it sounds like that meeting went with John Summerall, where they got off on the wrong foot, have to imagine vibes were bad enough for him to intend to enter the transfer portal, so that tells me all I need to know there. You just want to get back around the boys, man. Back around mom's home cooking. Now, Waco's not 15 minutes from where he's from. It's still a pretty good distance to get back home, but just being back in that state, being, again, somewhere where his dad played ball, familiar territory, a team he grew up rooting for in the Baylor Bears. Does this have anything to do with my wife being a Baylor alumni? I don't know. I can't say no. It might have something to do with it, but I can explain this one from a football perspective. So Lagway to Baylor, to me, is the easiest to explain as of right now when it comes to this transfer portal quarterback crop.
Yeah, man, there's a lot with Lagway. We had a lot of Lagway dialogue this offseason, to say the least. I was worried about his injuries. I was worried about his lack of practice. I think that showed up this year, and I think that he needs to go wherever he can develop the most. Not saying that's Baylor or anywhere else. This would be a comfortable fit for him for sure. Maybe him being comfortable could unlock some of the stuff we saw flashes of at the end of last season compared to what we saw this season. But wherever he's going to be happiest and wherever he can develop, that's where he needs to be. I don't think the SEC competition was necessarily a problem for him. I don't think that's why he didn't succeed per se. But going to the Big 12 level and being that talented, I mean, you'd like to think he'd light it up and really pop on film and really pop for the NFL draft evaluators. So I don't mind it at all. I think Baylor, for your sake, for your wife's sake, getting DJ Lagway would be a lot to be excited about. Big shoes to follow, though.
Big shoes.
Sawyer Robertson did his thing. He held it down, man. He was, I would say, one of the most fun quarterbacks to watch in the entire country. Baylor was entertaining this year. Maybe DJ Lagway can bring that same entertainment value and maybe some more wins out there in Waco. You never know.
Fingers crossed, man.
For me, easiest one to explain, and let this be clear, this is actually the one pick I actually don't want to happen. I think this is easy to explain. Very well could happen. Wouldn't love it to happen, though. Rocco Becht hit the transfer portal recently, and it's no secret that his head coach, Matt Campbell, at Iowa State is at Penn State. Don't have to squint at all to see Rocco Becht going to Penn State, playing for Matt Campbell once again. I said before, don't love this for Rocco Becht. I'm a Rocco Becht stan. I want people to know that. Love his game, love his leadership, love his hard count, word to the show name. This dude gets people to jump off sides like it's no one's business with his cadence. I mean, an awesome player, a gamer, doesn't have all the size. Very, very similar to a Brock Purdy that was successful at Iowa State as well. You can tell he's smart. You can tell he has command of his huddle, command of his team. His numbers took a little bit of a dip this year, but that's what happens when two of your receivers that both caught for 1,000 yards the year before go to the NFL. They both also end up on the same team. But I think that Rocco Becht, don't have to squint very hard to see him following in the footsteps of a Matt Campbell, taking his game to the next level like we talked about before, going from the Big 12, taking a jump up to the Big 10. I would like to see him play with more of a team that has a little bit better of a recruiting class maybe right now, maybe has some more hope, maybe has some more potential as far as the offense and what it could be to really let him shine. Because I think he deserves that. He's stuck with Iowa State through the thick and the thin, the highs and lows, whatever they need from him, whether it's running the ball, throwing the ball. He has always molded his game to whatever they need to win games. And I'd like him to be selfish, honestly, and play for a team that throws the ball a bunch, has a bunch of awesome receivers, has cooler uniforms. No offense to Penn State. I'd love that for Rocco, but I think him going to Penn State is probably, I don't have a crystal ball over here, but I imagine that's where his lean is probably, and it's hard to imagine him being in the portal and not having some conversations with a one Matt Campbell.
It's got to be somewhere not in the Big 12, right? Like, it can't be a TCU or a Texas Tech anyone that could potentially cross paths with Iowa State in the regular or postseason. It can't be that. You cut that guy open, he bleeds cyclone. Like, it can't. I like that. I think you're on the money when it comes to easiest to explain. Like, Rocco Becht to Happy Valley. I mean, he could have left many times from Iowa State, but he recommitted, it felt like, every single year to Matt Campbell. Now that Matt Campbell's at Penn State and needed a quarterback, makes all the sense in the world. I like that a lot, Cato. Any parting shots you want to throw out there? It doesn't have to be a specific. It could be a situation. This is kind of my last thought on this whole thing. Most chaotic. I mean, it was not something we talked about before. Most chaotic, whatever Miami does. Like, I was told from someone in the coaching industry, Miami holds a lot of cards in this portal quarterback cycle. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm very curious to see who Miami picks, and then the musical chairs that happens where the music stops and, hey, grab a portal quarterback because they're going fast. Miami already turned the music off. Whatever Miami does is going to be chaotic. But anyone that you want to at least mention, or any other thoughts you have, any other hypotheticals you want to roll out here? I'm totally blindsiding you with this, but I know how good you are on the spot, and I just like picking that football mind of yours. Any takes here, parting shots on this segment before we move on to the goodness of the playoff?
Yeah, I don't have a left tackle. Don't worry about the blind side. I got my own blind side. I'm good. But no, I think we talked about it before off show. Just so interesting, the pool of quarterbacks we have. Like, I think there's just like so many different categories. Like, I think a Dylan Raiola and a DJ Lagway are guys that wherever they end up, largely predicated on their talent and their potential of what they could be. Both 5-star recruits, both went to big flashy spots, didn't quite look the way we wanted. What coaches seek out those guys on some I can fix them type beat versus you have guys like a Josh Hoover who've probably thrown more passes, Rocco Becht, who've thrown more passes in their college careers than Dylan Raiola and Lagway probably did throughout high school and college. You know what I mean? So I'm just curious to see what these schools look for. I think with all the coach turnover, all of the player turnover we're seeing now in this cycle specifically, curious what archetype guys are being looked for. We have the dual threat guys. We have the young guys with potential. We have grad transfer last year experience. So many different options, so many different scenarios. Curious to see how it works, because I think last year, looking at the playoff field this year, a lot of guys from the transfer portal. Maybe it didn't work out year one, but year two, next thing you know, you're in the playoff with a guy. Maybe it is a year one, like a Carson Beck. So many different options, so many opportunities. It's really a Rubik's Cube. We have what we want, obviously, that we've said, but just in general excited to see how the dominoes fall and the musical chairs being played in front of our eyes.
It's going to be a good time, man. Once January 2nd hits, I bet we give it 24 hours, and like January 3, this dude's committed, that dude's committed, and we will be able to start our wish list for spring practice when it comes to the propaganda we might be getting here during the spring part of the college football calendar, which we obviously honor and observe here on this side of things on the show.